Screw up, mistakes, and tomfoolery can happen on any project.
I made a bit of a mistake.
To become a better woodworker, you're going to need to accept and expect that mistakes are going to happen. What are mistakes if not opportunities to learn?
Me and my friend Scott here are teaming up to bring you our top 10 failures of the year.
And to show you how those opportunities leveled up our woodworking game.
I'm going to show you my top 5, and then Scott, he's going to fill in the rest. Link to his video in the description.
What's up, danger? What's up, danger?
You don't know what you don't know. But when your comment section calls you out, you no longer have any excuses. When it's cold, I tend to wear a hoodie in the shop, and I didn't see the danger of doing this. When cutting out a board for my outfeed table, I forgot the fact that I don't have an outfeed table, and the board started to fall, and I started to reach for it. And in this moment, I was mostly concerned by the fact that I slapped my hand down on the table saw surface. As bad as dropping my hand on a saw blade might have been, if the drawstrings from my hoodie would have got caught in the blade, I can easily say
that would have been worse.
And the same goes for my baggy sleeves and this router.
Thankfully, you guys called me out on my hoodie strings and my long dangly sleeves before I hurt myself. And for that, I want to say thank you and I appreciate it.
Because those things weren't even on my mind. But look at me now. I'm the Bill Belichick of woodworking.
Ooh, barracuda.
Even if you have no plans on making a YouTube video, you should record yourself in the shop every once in a while. That way you can see if you're as safe as you think you are. You might just be surprised and find some areas where you need to grow.
Now, a lack of unearned overconfidence is a danger to yourself, but also to your growth as a woodworker.
We all need to overestimate our ability sometimes with a project that is outside of our comfort zone. But I've come to learn when you're doing something that you have no idea how to actually do, you need to rely on some good old-fashioned discernment. That spidey sense that tells you this doesn't feel safe doesn't always stop me from trying to see just how unsafe it is. Turns out, pretty unsafe. Now, I'm what you call slow to discernment. With each project, I'm working to get better at it, but I'm still a work in progress.
It's fine, nothing. Just bruised. Now, I'm not trying to act foolish or set a bad example for others.
I'm still learning, so I'm still gonna make mistakes.
That last one happened with, where did I put the keys at? Did I drop them? It sounds like they're in my pocket. So look, I missed them. This is how I did it last time. I ripped it out of my pocket and then I hurt myself. Don't cut yourself this time, man. All right, cool. That last one I did with these keys.
Being an experienced woodworker means that you can anticipate the probability that something could and often will go wrong, and what you can do to fix it or to avoid it altogether. But here's the thing, growing that type of discernment takes time and requires for you to get your hands dirty.
I feel like Charles Barkley said it best.
Not a role model. Parents should be role models.
I don't consider myself a YouTuber. I'm just a dude in a garage trying to get better each day. And I'm just filming my journey along the way.
I don't know if you know this, but people can, and definitely do, lie. Some people tend to act like they have never made a mistake. And maybe they don't, but I know that I do, and I know that I'm not alone in this. And by my simple math, that means that you're not alone in this too.
Learn from others, ask questions, and share your inexperience. This is one of those times in life where there is no such thing as a dumb question. The only dumb question is the one that you don't ask, because the only person you're hurting is yourself.
Don't touch that.
If discernment is like Superman, then rushing the process is its kryptonite.
Little souvenir for the old hometown.
I'm a kid of the 90s, so slowing down isn't in my wheelhouse. We were the beginning of the constant distraction generation.
You've got mail.
Adding some version of extreme to pretty much everything, and our comic book characters had way too many pouches.
Excellent!
When I look back at the mistakes that I've made this year, the common denominator is that I'm going way too fast. Like the saying goes, slow and steady wins the race. If you don't have time to do it right, what makes you think you're going to have time to do it twice? Especially if you're on a budget, because every mistake costs you extra money and time.
Part of me rushing the process was skipping some of the basics.
It took me about 10 years to make a push stick. That's 10 years of me putting my hands way too close to the saw blade. It took me probably less than 30 minutes to make this L fence. I could have not taken the time to make this jig and continue to use the router, but that would have been foolish.
It is more than okay to slow down, take your time, and come up with a plan. It will definitely make for a better working experience.
I can't be the only person who stands around with no real plan in the shop, trying to figure out my next step in the project. And because I've wasted so much time trying to figure out what to do, I start rushing the project to get it done, which means I throw discernment out the window and press my luck. In the past, I've constantly made the mistake of rushing to get the next project done before cleaning up the last colossal L that I just got. I can clearly be a mess. Unclean and unorganized. I cannot believe just how much of a disaster I allowed myself to work in. I decided at the beginning of the year that enough was enough, and actually got to work cleaning my shop. And also created a French cleat wall to organize all my mess.
It took me way too long to realize this simple fact, that a clean and organized shop makes for a better and, dare I say, safer work experience.
The feeling of walking into a clean shop is better than the one you get from walking away from a mess. When things are unorganized and don't have a place, you waste precious time looking for them, which can lead to frustration, which is the brother of bad decisions. It's as simple as remembering, don't put it down, put it away. It's like how returning a shopping cart is a simple thing to do, and no one will praise you for it. In the case of being clean and organized, it's decency for your future self.
Setting a simple rule to clean up the mess before you go is a good idea, even if that means you have to stop working 15 minutes earlier.
You've probably heard it said before that comparison is the thief of joy. And that's true. But I look at it a little different. True joy is not based on your circumstances and comes from the one who created you. Happiness, on the other hand, is temporary and something that you can only have for a moment. It's like a vapor that appears for a little while, then vanishes. And so is true of frustration and disappointment. Like vapor, they are here today and gone tomorrow. Just like joy, I don't believe comparison is the right word either. I think it's a much easier word to swallow than what it really is. Envy. Whatever social media you're on, you're always going to find somebody that has more talent than you, more experience than you, better tools than you. And naturally, our flesh starts to get envious. And I'm not trying to say that I'm above this, because I am not. I see what other people can make, and it truly humbles me. I look at other people's tools, and I go, man, I want that. Envy wants us to believe that these things weren't earned. Just like lumber doesn't stack and cut itself, skills don't just appear out of nowhere. They're developed. And tools aren't collected all at once, typically. So push envy aside. Here's the truth. There is no one like you except you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. So find one area where you can get better today and grow from there. We need to shift our thinking from me versus them to me versus me. There is always going to be a tool that you don't have, a skill you haven't developed yet. Woodworking is a journey, and the path is not always smooth, but not all who wander are lost.
Those are my top 5 failures, opportunities that I learned from this last year, which I'm still working on overcoming daily. Now that you've seen mine, go check out Scott's top 5. I'm Joseph with 5 Duck Studio. I hope to see you next time. Wouldn't be the same without you.